Well, hello everyone. I-0386SX hasn't made a video in a hot minute. So we're going to break that trend and make another video. What we are staring at here today is a Compaq Armada 7700 series. It's the 7770 DMT to be exact. For some reason I struggle mightily saying that fast, so I said it like that. But this poor guy has a problem. And I think you will very quickly figure it out. On the surface, it doesn't look like there's any problems. Device manager looks good. Screen looks fine. It does need a little bit more RAM, but whatever. I'm trying to find how to reproduce this problem, and I'm not sure if this machine is equipped to do that at this time. Wait, go back to control panel. Hold on, I think we can replicate this real quick here. And yeah, this machine does need more RAM, which I do have sitting out here on the table if I get too annoyed with it. Oh, here we go. And as you can tell, it's deaf mute. But if we plug something into it like speakers, provided I can find it in a timely manner, we will find out real quick that it is not really a deaf mute. So I thought those speakers were closer to me than what originally was thought, so I am going to go hunt those down and then we will continue our little adventure with the deaf mute laptop. Alright, I think we found something that can replicate this problem. The little portable speaker, it is on, you have power, and before we, of course, start going for the nuclear options, let's make sure the sound is all the way up. Sure is. Now, let's plug in a set of speakers. And the sound controls are in the back of this particular laptop. I'm going to try the headphone one first, see what that does, which is in the middle. And holy mother. Doesn't want to stay in there, though. There we go. Now we're cooking with fire. So the speaker is now connected. Now let's see what we got. Holy Mother Mary, that is really loud. Well, let's try the other one. I'm not sure if there's a underlying problem with this sound card or not. And it is a problem that might be cured by once I actually fix the ultimate problem with the speakers. Well, you can hear that it's making sound, so that's kind of what I wanted to show. So, what happened to this laptop exactly, and why do we get no sound to the speakers? That's the problem I'm going to focus on. I don't know why it's acting the way it is with the headphone jack. That's a whole other ball of wax that I just discovered. Well, you see, folks, some idiot was a little too reckless with this computer when he tried to take the CMOS battery out, and we broke an audio cable. Now, another YouTuber, I'll give him credit, David Weber was the name of the YouTube channel or user that did point out, it's like, well, this is what not to do, but this is what you gotta look out for. And you know what, constructive criticism, I left it up, and I will always welcome that kind of stuff. But he also offered a solution. See, a couple months ago, a little over 2 months, 3 months ago, the guy was nice enough to send me a replacement cable. He's a neighbor of the north, from Calgary. I'm not in Canada, so it's the country, neighbor of the north. He was nice enough to send me a cable for basically shipping cost. So, that is a very thankful thing for my purposes anyway, and we're going to restore the functionality of the sound, at least the built-in sound anyway. Like I said, the headphone jack's a whole other ball wax. we are going to install this cable. And David Weber did say this is a very difficult install. So what exactly went wrong? Well, you'll see soon enough, but I'll show you what happened. When I was pulling on the sound card, I was pulling by this apparatus right here, and all the cables came in the pins. The pins on this side popped right through, so we basically had a whole bunch of broken pins and whatnot, and a useless cable. Somebody that's really good with a soldering iron, I'm not gonna hold on to it like that, but somebody that's real good with a soldering iron, real sharp with a soldering iron, probably could have repaired that cable. I am not that good, so we're not going to do that. So next thing is, first is we have to do some surgery and get this machine off and get it apart. So we shall do that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to plug in my TV. We're off. And we all know that the battery is a paperweight. There we go. In this machine, so, but regardless, I do like to pull them just to be on the safe side. So there is absolutely no power whatsoever going to the computer. So we have one shot to do this, and David Weber, if you're watching this and you don't like it, I do apologize. We have a handful of screws as we got to take off the keyboard cover. I believe this can be achieved. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe this screw too. I'm not entirely sure, but there is at least 8 screws that we need to get to. This is a T8 Torx screw. So we shall go get the tools and get it done. It's been a couple months since I opened up one of these, so I'm not sure if there's different size screws that we're going to run into or what we're all going to run into, but we'll see what we need to do. And I am going to believe David Weber that this install is going to be a bear, because it looks like there are a lot of precision little things we have to worry about on that. Just looking at this cable, like for example, we have this end here. It's going to probably not be super easy, and we got an end very similar to the other one that we all have to worry about. But until we reach that point, we were going to do what I have a little bit better working knowledge of and tear this apart. The keyboard cover, remove that. If you're new to this channel, there's very little things that are scripted on this, and sometimes things go really bad. That is the thrill and the downside to running an unscripted channel. As Adrian Monk would say, it's a blessing and a curse. We'll take that off. Looks like my hand looks like I'm about 100 in this photo. But, oh well, life goes on, right? Yeah, it looks like all our screws are generally the same size. And one did not fall out. Out you go. There we go. Now we got some solder on this table from the last project. Let's get rid of that, because I'm sure that's not going to be good if that gets inside here. I think that's all the screws, but we're going to find that one out about right now. So we want to put this thing as far as it can go back, and yeah, largely correct. Do I have to remove the hard drive first? Maybe. remove that. We'll remove the floppy. Yeah, let's remove all that stuff next. Yeah, this is, maybe I missed a screw. Maybe there's something else that's got to unsnap here. Let's go take a look and find out together, shall we? Yeah, it seems like that there is something right here that just doesn't want to release. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there is. Where my finger is, there is a release, so we have to pop that release. Yeah, come on. I'm kind of doing this at the wrong angle, so that doesn't help matters, I'm sure. There we go. I think we got her. And little word of caution, if you do go directly on tabs like that, some of these notebooks are very brittle and you could break some plastic, so that's just a word of warning. I have a Armada 7300, and one of my subscribers, or somebody that randomly found my channel, very much shared their displeasure with the way I tore that machine apart, but I really had no control over how that machine came apart, so I'm sorry. It is what it is. I can't, that little issue is beyond my control of if I get a brittle computer. So now, here's the cable, and I'll show you if I can get it on camera. There's no pins left. I think I just threw out the pins because it didn't do me any good. But somebody with real good soldering skills and tracing wires like that might be able to fix it. I am not, so we're going to just outright replace it. I've never torn this screen apart on any of these 7700 series Armadas, so this is new to me, but we all know for sure that these rubber boots have to come off. And even then, I got fooled on this once before. I don't remember what computer that was on. It was a Compaq where they had, might have been the Prosignia. They had rubber boots over nothing. And those are halfway loose already. Okay, I don't know what to think of that, but they had rubber boots like that over something that looked like a screw, but it wasn't a screw. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Well, no, I didn't. It just fell out. Dang. That's no good. It was maybe at some point the replacing the CMOS battery in this machine video that started all this. I may just end up remaking it in the hopes that we could do a little bit better job on it, or at least a more correct methodology of tearing that machine apart. Alright, so we got the screws off this LCD display. So let us get the plastics off, which we just gotta find. Like I said, this is new territory for me, and it came out pretty easy, so I just found a little seam and started working around. Let's hope it's painless. Mostly, yes, and oh God, this is not going to be a fun one. David Weber was not kidding. Well, off goes the screen. And all these screws are just so loose. I wonder if somebody was in here even before I was. I know I wasn't in this half of the screen. The only thing I did that was replace the CMOS battery, and that was all I did with this machine. That one was kind of tight, but the other ones were very, very loose. So let us do that. And we are sitting loose at this point, so do bear that in mind when you do gently take this panel out, or at least hopefully anyway. I don't know if there's anything else holding her in place. I imagine there probably is. There is broken plastic on mine, but I don't think that's going to affect much. Alright, what is holding up here? We have... Okay, this is an interesting... the yellow panel here behind this has to come off. Because I think what I need is behind there. I could be told, nope, I need to get the metal panel off too. This is going to be a doozy. So next, on the left side, I'm not going to make the same mistake that I made on the sound cable. It's a very similar setup to, I'll try to show you here. On the left side of the screen, there's a little cable right here. It's a very similar build to that sound cable. We got to get that off somehow. And I'm probably not going to be able to show that one on film, as I am more concerned about not breaking this machine any worse than what it already is. So I'm hoping that I can like take a flat-sided screwdriver and work on the side of this thing and just get between the seam of the harder plastic, and yes, that actually worked out pretty good. So I'm hoping that we can lay this guy flat. I still have the power connected. The what goes into the inverter is still connected, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So now, yeah, this is a very interesting, intricate design that I'm not exactly a fan of, but it is what it is. So we may have to get the screen out of here completely, which we're going to do now. We're going to do that just to be one less piece of problems down the road. So that's out of the way. I think the inverter and or the speakers has to go next. So I'll admit I am a little bit off. I am definitely off script now. Not a little. I'm definitely off script at this point. Let's get the inverter out of there. I repeat. All right, get the speaker out. That's cool too. I was going for the inverter, but this will work. Yeah, that won't work so well. Alright, yep, so the inverter is on one of these thin ribbon cables. I am not a fan of that design at all, but what are you gonna... And you just witnessed why I don't do the ultra-fine precision work. Solder a battery like it's nothing, but it'll fine work, so much. So we need to get this metal plate off. So it looks like it is attached at least at one side of each hinge. I'm hoping that I don't have to take all the hinge screws out, but we shall see in about 10 to 15 seconds. And this is getting to be quite a surgery. Yeah, it's attached somewhere. I know what, it is attached right there. But we may be able to fold this down, I'm hoping. Or do we have to take that off? I am trying to figure that out here. Because there's the sound cable right there. This is the one we need. And it looks like the LCD cable is blocking our way in. So we do have to Oh my. We're gonna have to somehow, some way get that off. And I don't see an obvious way to do that. Okay, so we gotta have a come to Jesus meeting with this thing at some point, because this is ridiculous. If we could get around this one on the right, we'd be okay, but it looks like that is going to be a very tall order, because there's more metal. Yeah, we need to get that out of there, and I don't know what this is about. Who in their right mind would tape this up? Well, there is a metal hold down here. There is something else in metal holding this on, I think. I'm trying to determine that here. There's a metal case right here. I don't know if this lifts up or what we got going on. It probably doesn't. Oh, yeah. It does, actually. God, if I could get around that piece, we'd be home free here, but it's got to be able to come off, right? Before I break this, I think we may need to rethink our strategy here. This has to come off. There's no way that it doesn't. But I think our issue is that this may even be glued on. And I tell you, that is going to be a real cruel trick if that is what we have going on. Oh, wait, hold on here. If we get this off, it may not come back on, or we may break something in between. Ho ho, this is glued on. Who would do such a thing? Good God Almighty. Well, we got it off. If you do use screwdrivers, be really careful. And I can't stress that enough, or you will have another problem. So we just got to get this LCD cable pried up just enough to get this sound cable out of here. We got her out. Okay, that's good. So our next steps are going to be just as fun, because the sound cable is stuck. I don't want to break anything anymore than it already is. There we go. So that's free. And right here, on the top right, provided we don't do anything really stupid, man, everything's just glued on here. This is just, why? We gotta pry this off. As long as we don't completely wreck the speaker itself, I don't really care here. So this is, I don't even know what this connector is yet. We know it's 2-wire something, but there we go. It's a standard JST micro, if you do ruin that. Now, we got 2 more screws we gotta move, because why not? And greetings to the broken plastic. All hail the glue that they used on this panel. Come on. That looks like, I wonder if it just slides out? Yeah, maybe that's what it does. Nope, double stick tape. Oh my God, why the hell would anybody do this? Well, we're gonna use good old-fashioned violence to get that off, or gentle violence, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I got a little venting to do here. As we're gonna borrow a term from Gordon Ramsay here. This is consistent crap. And I'm venting a little bit more than I wanted to, but hey, the truth has to be told here. And the ribbon cable, to add insult to injury, is underneath the double stick tape. We're gonna pull everything out of here. We're gonna pretend that this is good. I don't know why they're doing this, but what in the world here? There is more tape than man on this laptop. I just lost a screw. I saw where it landed, so technically it just fell to an area where I was able to reach it. It looks like it's a little bit of a circuit board or double stick tape or something. That's just double stick tape. And we're gonna take that off, and holy cow, that is the stupidest design I've seen today. So now, same drill, we have to get this JST micro off this speaker. That came off okay. So there is, and this just inserts, or de-inserts, if you will, like so. Whew. I need a drink after that. That is way too much work for that little return, but what are you gonna do? And I did not pay very close attention to how this thing, now the double stick tape is a dead giveaway. Okay, we should be fine. So we're going to set the busted one up off to the side, and we're gonna try put this darn thing back together now. The LTE series is makes so much more sense. The contours were so much easier to work on. This is what happens when career politicians touch things. Alright, so we got that in place, and we are going to put the PC speaker back now. Yeah, come on, don't be a bitch. There we go. So, speakers go back. And before I go too far, I see that the other screw fell in what could be a very awkward position if I don't take care of it now. So I'm going to try and grab it with the needle nose. Good. That crisis is now been since averted. And there are some, for this little stupid board, I probably should be speaking nicer than this, but I'm not going to at this point. So I'm very annoyed with the way this video has turned out, but it is what it is. There's some holes that this is supposed to perfectly line up into, and for whatever reason, this is not. Maybe my audio cable is misaligned. Maybe this thing is not plugged in all the way. Let's find out together. That could be backwards. That's possible. Let's try it again. Yeah, there is a little bit of a questionable folding action going on here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't like the design of this machine at all. Okay, there we go. I think we got her. Mostly got her. So, one-shot deal here. Let's get this plugged in. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those I have to put back together to test. Alright, so there we go. That's in place. So we put those screws back. I know this is a cardinal sin against in the IT world, but I think I'm going to have very little recourse in terms of how we're going to handle this. So back together, at least partially it goes. And hope we don't have another bigger problem lurking on our hands. Alright, so we got that back together. Let's get this side in play. Yeah, that looks right. And there is supposed to be a little pin that goes into, but I think mine is missing. But, hold on here, we're not completely messed. Right here, if you look, there are pins here. And your speaker is supposed to set right up there. So that's what we're going to do. And this thing, provided that I put it in correctly, is supposed to sit perfectly still there. We got some cracked plastic situation on our hands. And oh well. Overall, this laptop's actually in pretty good shape, so I can't really complain too much about its general condition. So, now, a little bit of bad news is I lost the inverter for this thing. So we gotta find where that went before we do much of anything, because that is a critical piece to this, one holding the speaker in. Oh, no we didn't. We just did that. Okay, cool. So now, we're going to continue in the spirit of being untraditional here. We're going to feed this audio cable, what's left of it, through where it's supposed to be fed. And this is going to be a royal pain in my rear, just because I got to sneak this in just perfectly. And I know the Armada 7700 series experts are probably screaming. Just screaming by now. But don't worry, I am taking my sweet time on this, so there is an absolute no urgency here and no real hurry to put this thing back together. And we're going to tuck this baby behind here. And fortunately, I'm at the wrong angle again. Perfect, so that's in. 2 of 3 are in. 1 of 3 are in. Come on. In you go. There we go. Those are in. So now we can put the inverter back in. Very carefully put that back in, because that looks like that's quite the precision fit. It is exactly that. So let's get us some them green screws that go in there. And we, uh-oh, hold on a minute. Let's not do that. Let's put these back in. That might help us a little bit in aiding a trouble incident-free reassembly of this system. That won't. But now, in theory, you should be able to pop this thing back. I want to lay it back a little further. Maybe we can't anyway. Or are we going to do this a different way? Well, yes, we'll do it like this. There you go. So we'll lay it like this temporarily, and then we'll get one of those green screws back in. a little bit surprised that there's no screw in here, or I completely forgot about it already. For the speaker in the upper right, I'll have to review the video to determine that, or if I have extra short screws around, we know where it came from. Alright, so inverter's back in business. There's gotta be a screw that goes in there. Gotta be. Mine didn't have it, or I lost it, or whatever. Don't really matter. Probably could find something to put in that spot. Alright, so now comes, well, this one doesn't have it either. Maybe that's where the, oh, that, I know what that's for. That's where this bezel, I believe, lines up with that. Okay, so that makes sense now. Screen time. The #1 enemy of old-fashioned parents. Too much screen time. Now here, in this case, it's a good thing. And, by the way, I will leave this little nugget here for you. If you're looking for a screen for this system, it's a Mitsubishi Electric. It's a AA12 1SB12, Compaq part number 186624002. So, if you're looking for that, I inadvertently just gave it to you. And if I remember to do it, I'll put that in the comments and description. And very wisely here, don't mangle your inverter, because I don't think Mr. Weber's going to be too kind to me here, assuming he has any of these cables left. It's like, well, I need something else. Whoops, I broke the screen. Yeah, I actually did mess up here. Hold on. We gotta get the connector on the left here, the actual LCD connector, back in play. So, we might be able to test it right now. I'm not sure. My guess is that we probably could put in the two screws that hold this screen in play, and that would be, yeah, let's do that. Let's it looks like there are, before I assume anything here, I want to see if there's actually a screw that goes in here, because I have the brain of a goldfish today and don't remember what is what, because we definitely have extra screws left over if that is the case. So I'm thinking, yeah, so that is not where that screw goes. So let's get these screws in place. We'll at least get the screen. There we go. And it's very possible, too, that I put those in the wrong spot. I'm not sure if these are threaded or not, these holes, but we're gonna, either way, we'll at least have things secure, and if something absolutely heartbreaking happens, there's a lesser chance that it's going to be even more heartbreaking than what it already is. So let's put that back. Put that back in, there we go. We are back in business there. And now we gotta, I'm gonna leave everything else off at this point. We're gonna plug in the sound cable very, very carefully. This is our one and only shot here. If we screw this up, we boned. And this ain't looking particularly awesome. So that is now in. That tucks in underneath. Let's turn this computer on and let's see what we got for trick or treat. And hopefully we did not make matters worse. There's always that chance. Hold on. Well, we got a screen. So far it's not worse. And yeah, small problem. We got an easily solvable problem as soon as I figure out what I did with the keyboard. And the problem was we didn't have a keyboard attached or mouse. Yeah, let's get that puppy attached again. There we go. So that should serve us a little bit better now. And hope that this did what we needed to do here. I'm going to do a scan disk now because I shut it off, but there's hardly anything on this hard drive, so it shouldn't take hardly any time at all. Even for it being spinning rust, it's looks like it's recovering in a timely fashion. Still no sound though. It's on like it wanted to. Might have mangled the sound card too, who knows? Now this part's not so snappy. Probably should have put that RAM in before I did much of anything else, but well, what are you gonna do? Come on. Still have no sound though, so this is a little bit just not what I wanted here, unfortunately. Yeah, this doesn't look like this is going to be exactly a successful repair. So we got our speakers connected. There could be an issue with the sound card itself, so that is a possibility at this point. It is very possible when we had issues with the sound card, when that cable broke, who knows, maybe I busted a pin or something, crossed a pin. Get this out of here. Oh yeah, I forgot that I did that. And I just snapped that together. Darn it. There we go. That one little clip gets me every time. I suppose I could I'll probably at this point with this machine break that off and it wouldn't hurt anything, but we're gonna still pretend that this is a pristine condition laptop and not do that. This is just, there we go. So let's get that off the side. And that is indeed all the way in. So it is very possible that we just killed this sound card and that's going to be it for this machine. We can, I wonder how hard it would be to just to reseat the sound card. Probably easier said than done, as it looks like there's a whole other litany of things we got to do here. Yeah, there's at least one more screw I got to lift up to have any success stories with reseating this sound card. And then, oh my goodness, this is just something else, isn't it? This thing's just a sound card. Hold on here. I think we overcomplicated this. So let's screw that back in. Let's see if we can just reset pieces of this. So that is... I think this sucker was just a sound card right in my hand here. I don't see any ESS chips on the this card here. I think this is more or less a modem and a power board. It's a combination board. It's very possible that I wrecked this thing. We'll reseat the sound card regardless and see what happens. That is definitely seated this time around. There is no question in my mind that it is seated properly. There's a cable underneath there. Hold on here. That might have done it, actually. Cross our fingers and, well, hold on. False start. Very important. Cross our fingers, hope to die. Yada, yada, yada. All right, so that is secure. That's everything's pressed in. We checked our work twice. Let's hope. I forgot a metal piece. We'll see if we even need it. Well, just put it back in if we need it. Nope, we don't. I'm not sure if on these particular laptops that these serve as grounds or anything, so I'm just going to put them in properly. Oh shoot, we need the keyboard. We also need the hard drive. Third time's the charm. I think we should be able to get around some scan disk nonsense here. a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, I think our sound card is shot. Or that board is shot. And I'll be honest, I don't know the entire history of this machine before it came to me. I don't even remember if the sound ever actually worked. So it may have been that particular issue where it just sounds like crap. May have existed even before I had it. So we're gonna find that out real quick here. Yeah, that sound card does not sound healthy, so we may have to troubleshoot that, but I'm not going to do that in this particular video. We are going to go ahead and put the machine back together the rest of the way, though. Come on. But the good news is, for all things considered here, we did show you, although it was probably a little bit rougher than it should have been, we did at least replace this cable, and we now have restored functionality to the speakers. So maybe the PC speaker will work fine. I'm not entirely sure, but I will go ahead and put this machine back together. Heck, I may even try to put more RAM in it. Maybe that'll fix it. I doubt it, but I'm going to see if I can source a sound card and put that thing in there, and maybe that'll get our sound back to where it's supposed to. So if you recall correctly, even the headphones sounded like that, and that doesn't even rely on the ribbon cable at all. So I think we found maybe a bigger problem here. So that's gonna do it for me. You don't have to watch me put this thing back together, but at least if you run into this situation, now you know how big of a project it is, and you'll prepare yourself, and maybe you might learn some things that I did incorrectly that maybe you can do correctly, or I'm sure somebody in the comment section will give me some commentary on that and tell me how I did wrong. And, well, if it improves the community, be my guest. But regardless, that's how you do it. If you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, as always, please leave them in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching.